Welcome back, folks, to Age of Lemuria. I'm your host, DM Lucan. Check me out at Dragon Prophecy Studios to see my works, books, etc., etc. You know it. I've got links down below. Just check them out. Jamie, tell me about yourself. What you doing, man? What you doing?
I'm not doing too much. I'm just here to enjoy the scenery, have fun, and hopefully, well, returning to this session, not be killed again.
You are more powerful than you know.
Hopefully.
You have reached the standard of a soldier. Yeah, nah. Dice say differently. Dice says differently. Hunk Papa, what's going on?
Hello, I am Hung Papa, also known as Jesse Zero. I'm a professional dungeon master and author. You'll be able to find my works on the DM's Guild soon. It's going to be the Thar trilogy. I've just passed the final approval, so you can look for them sometime in the next couple of months on the DM's Guild.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing that. Taylor, tell me what's going on.
Hello. I'm Tobias Green. I'm looking forward to shooting some evil things and adventuring forward, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it.
There's much evil in this world. I don't think there's enough shooting, enough arrows in the world for you to kill them all, but we'll see.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah. Scarecrow, what's going on, man? What's going on?
I'm Scarecrow. Been playing D&D for about a year. I stream mainly like Overwatch and other kind of games and tabletop sessions that I have on Roll20. And my Twitch is Vivi_Lannister.
Well, send me links. I'll put them down in the description below so people can find you. Everybody, go ahead and place your tokens upon the map. Guys, what happened last time? I wasn't here. What happened last time?
I wasn't here. What happened last time?
So, from what I remember, I got blindfolded and taken into a tree stump base type thing, where I got smacked about by a dwarf, which was quite bizarre. And the dwarf had an argument with some sort of elf leader, Spud. And then I can't actually remember what happened after that.
Spud was not his real name, but yes. The dwarf got into an argument with a potato.
They don't know that wasn't his real name. Only Agent knew that wasn't his real name.
Scarecrow, what happened to your character? You kind of just fell to the side and remained quiet.
I tried to break up the fight between the elder elf and the dwarf, and then we ended up saving the dwarf from drowning in the river.
That's very true.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Anything else happen?
We got kind of lost, and then but finally we made it to the city.
To a city. To a city. The city of Ravenshaven. If you all bring up your map, you can see on the updated map the city of Ravenshaven. You guys are currently, I'll bring it up for the people, right here. So everybody can see. Trapped between the mountains of fire and the golden plains. There's no place better to be. Right?
Right?
So we're going to have a cutscene, right? Scene opens up and it's black, right? We see James Bruson, who is currently tied and bound. You hear elves coming in, like, talking in their native language. Do you speak Elven?
I do indeed.
Yes, you hear them discussing, like, is he a mercenary? Does he work with the elf? Who is this man?
Hello? I'm not a mercenary. I'm responding in Elvish. I'm simply a young man wishing to experience the world.
Human curiosity, no doubt. What should we do with him? Should we cut him? Drown him? Sink him in the river?
Preferably not death, please. I would much like to live through this circumstance. It would be a grand experience.
Trespassers are known to not leave these woods.
I wish not to trespass. My apologies.
Why are you with the dwarf?
A very long tale indeed. Let's say I owe him a favor. He's saved my life many times.
You hear like this whispering, like, it's a life bond. What's going on? We can't kill him. What if we piss off the dwarf people? They're like talking back and forth. They're arguing of whether like what should we do with this trespasser who is clearly not welcomed here.
I can see that I'm not welcomed, but if you are to get rid of me, at least you could use me for a while. I'm a healer. I could heal some of the injured before I leave.
So he's like, oh, what type of healing do you do?
Well, I channel my god through my being, and I heal those that are sick. I can also use standard medicines, if that's the case.
There is an audible growl when you say God. And the inevitable question comes up, who is your god? Mind you, I'm going to tell you right now, the elves do not like the Holy Master. Your character knows this.
Does it matter who I worship, so long as I do good upon the people around me?
It does. Who do you serve?
I serve those who are crushed underneath the wills of those who do not deserve power.
You hear like the hisses are like, he's an inquisitor. We should kill him. They're like, no, he's a healer. He heals people. You hear that's again this argument of like, hey, we should cut him. No, cut him. No, we should leave him alone. Quickly, debate goes back and forth as they're like arguing about this. What do you do to persuade them?
I'll just speak out and say, part of my wishing to gain experience is to change the relations between the humans who have sought and ravaged the lands of so many others, and those whom have been on the end of the suffering that was not rightly doled out by our kind. I need time and effort, but in the future I wish to make change.
Roll me a persuasion.
Let's see how this one goes.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah. So the one who's like, oh, he's a healer, right? And you get your blindfold taken off, and you see that you're in the woods, right?
Right.
And they're like, all right, healer, just see what you can do. So they bring in this wounded soldier who's recently been injured. He's bandaged, right?
Right.
And they're like, let's see what you can do, healer. And they're watching you carefully, right? They unbind you and watch you carefully. There's 3 of them, and they're just watching you. Currently, you are in the woods, right?
Yeah, I don't have my equipment on me, do I? So I don't have my holy symbol.
No. You can see your items off to the side, however.
Right, okay.
All your items are currently with you.
Okay. I'll need my healer's kit. Just give me a moment. It's just with my things.
They notch arrows and then hand you all your equipment back.
Thank you. I take out the healer. It is not, I promise. I take out the healer's kit and begin to mend the wounds of the old man.
Roll me a medical check. It is good enough. You bind the wounds, yet the elves are like, anybody could have done that.
Yes, but it is the wish and the will to do so that people lack.
I like nod and like, all right, your life is spared now. Leave these woods and never return, healer.
Very well.
Otherwise, you will be met with swift death. You have been warned. Your friends have left.
Do you know where they have headed?
We do not know, nor do we care.
Very well. I'll seek them out myself. Thank you. And I'll take my leave.
Okay, excellent. We get like this little cameo of you like walking across the golden plains, and then it's like, hey, wait a second, where are they going? And then they're like, hey, they're going into the endless desert. So several days pass by. You see how many days. 7 days pass by as you finally make it to the city of Ravenshaven. You find a ferry and make it quite easily. On the slopes, you see your friends slowly making it down. They were making incredible time, by the way, pushing themselves beyond their own means. You even exhausted yourself getting here as well, but you rested up before entering into the city of Ravenshaven. The city of Ravenshaven rests within the endless desert, a vast wasteland of nothing but desert, sand, rocks, and naturally death.
Of course.
Considered the last bastion of, quote unquote, civilization, if it can be called that. This has been known as like a slaver's den in the past. However, there's been new recent management that you are all aware of. The dragon known as Valseth has taken the city over. It is ruled by a council of 5. Yes. Everyone is aware of this. You are also sure that every monster, fiend, and creature comes here to rest. Every non-human, elf, etc., is here.
Fair enough.
The city is made out of sandstone, tents, anything that can be naturally constructed from the desert. It has a semi-quasi wall, if you can call it that. It's about 5 foot high. Easily scalable. However, it's designed mostly to prevent sand from getting in. The desert itself is its own fortress, as you guys are well aware of. Your skin out in the desert starts to crack and become dry and brittle. What do you guys do as you stand upon the entrance of the city of Ravenshaven?
I assume I've met up with them, yeah?
Oh, yes. You guys are all back. What do you guys say? The strange human's like, wait, guys! Wait!
Patrick! Hey!
You finally found us, lad. I told you there was nothing to worry about.
Yeah, no. Real nice people, those elves. Let me go without anything but a scratch.
Sorry, but who's this guy?
Oh. Is he are you hidden or anything? Can you tell that you're an elf?
So describe yourself as you enter into the scene. The other players have not met you.
Right, okay. So, James is about 5'10", 5'11". He's got just bright blonde hair. He has a scar coming from the top right-hand side of his temple down across his eye. And as he raises his right hand past his face, you can see the scar connects over the hand as well. He's not super fit. He's just an average looking person, but he gives off the general sense of being very naive or very open to other people and their thoughts. So as soon as he turns and sees the elf in Elven, he just goes, "Oh, greetings. What is your name?"
Ramza, I believe he is speaking to you. This human, clearly naive in manners yet scarred in others, approaches you and says hello.
I say back to him in Elven, hey, you know the language of my people?
Yes, it's a long story. One that, for the moment, I shall not go into. But yes, um, it seems to have made a fair amount of use to me, especially in recent days.
Ramza, describe yourself. He has never seen your character before.
He's wearing black leather armor. He has an eye patch. His skin's kind of like a purplish gray color. He's got a bunch of scars, so you can tell he's been into some scraps. And yeah, that's really it.
Excellent. And then from across you, you see the stranger, another human of sorts. Who does he see?
She sees Tobias Green, a roughly 6 foot, relatively stocky individual because he needs to be running through the forests, being a ranger, tracking beasts and whatnot. He's got quite a scruffy amount of facial hair. His hair's quite short and all over the place, quite a little bit dishevelled. But he's generally a positive person and tries to introduce himself with joy rather than sadness. So I'll walk up to the paladin and go shake his hand. Greetings, I am Tobias.
Greetings, I'm James.
Nice to meet you.
And yourself. Well met.
Well met.
So, Adric, what brings us over here?
We're looking for a farm, apparently. This does not look like any farm to me, though, boys.
Ah, fair enough.
Are you sure you've taken us to the right place there, Tobias?
Adric, describe yourself, by the way. You have not been seen in quite some time.
Adric is a short, hairy-looking human. He's got some plates in his forehead. He's wearing heavy traveler's clothes, and he's using a javelin as a walking stick.
Excellent. You are all together. What do you guys do?
Tobias, are you sure this is the place?
Well, I'm pretty certain the farm that you were looking for was on the Golden Plains, and if anyone knows or has any information, this would be a good place to start.
All right then. Guess we'll have to find out a little bit more while we're here, but be wary, lads. Dragons are not ones to be trusted.
I'll follow your lead.
As you enter into the city, you see that this is a main trading hub. People from the desert, boar elves, etc., come here. As you approach, you notice that there are men. 3 men, 1 man in full plate and the other 2 in half plate approach you. They lift up the leader, who's dressed in like silks and heavy armor, raises his hand and he says, "Greetings, citizens. How can I guide you?" This is an open-air market, right? So you see trading goods. You see orcs. You see a blacksmithy, alchemist shop, leather shop with horses and trades. You see wagons going back and forth. Populace here seems to be lively and seems to be a shopping day, a normal day. People are making stuff, crafting, etc., etc. It is very much a living city.
Ah. I like it here. It's lively. And there's so many people.
I am Commander Archon, and I am here to greet you. Who are you, and what is your business here? They begin to inspect you. Looking you guys over.
I am Adric. We come looking for a farm. I was told this might be a place we might be able to find it. I have some livestock I need to purchase.
A farm? I'm sorry, friend, but there's no farms here other than, I don't know, clay makers? He like looks at the other ones, and the other ones are like, farm? Like, they look at you strangely and say, sorry, friend, but there are no farms here. This is the endless desert. Are you lost?
Adric scowls and looks over at Tobias and Ramza.
I thought this might be a good starting point to locate some of the goods that we need.
Stolen?
I'm not quite sure, in all honesty. Adric, would you provide more information?
What are you looking for, friends? I'm sorry, but we don't have any farms here.
We're looking to pick up a few bullywugs.
He frowns at this and he says, bullywugs. Are you slavers?
They have their usefulnesses, and our business is our own, if you don't mind. However, would you know anything of that?
So Commander Archeon like frowns at you and says, ever since the death of Moore, there are no slaves to be purchased here. The slave master Moore. Everybody roll me a knowledge history.
Oh God, I didn't realize I was a slave master.
No, Moore. The slave master Moore. Moor.
Ah, it's missing the E. That's what it is.
Excellent. Most of you guys have heard of this person. He is a human slaver who travels around and seeks slaves and purchases them, either by war, capture, or trade. He has been defeated and by the blind wizard Adrian. Commander Archeon says, yes, we just had a celebration not too long ago with his defeat. We are against slavery here, friend. If you are looking to buy flesh, this is not the place to do it. He looks audibly, visually, angry that you are here to buy flesh.
Adric will kind of lean over and nudge Ramza with his elbow.
Where are you coming from?
We just came out of the forest.
There's no forest around here, friend. Are you... And he starts inspecting you. He's like, come with me. Maybe you need some water. He gestures for everyone to follow him. The place opens up to you, right? And in the center is this giant wellspring. And in the middle of this wellspring, you see this giant globe, an orb of immense size. It is, everyone roll me knowledge religion as you stare at this magnificent piece of awesome sauce. Nope. Yep. Tobias, you know
Yes.
this to be the white flame.
The white flame, and what's the white flame?
The white flame is a power source of which all life springs from.
Wow, okay.
It is here in its purest of form. The guards gesture for you guys to get a drink from the spring. They think that you are suffering from heat stroke.
Very probable.
Yeah. You guys are talking about forests and farms and yeah.
Yeah, James takes a
It's
good
nothing but
healthy,
desert.
handful of that drink. He is glad to have it.
It is delicious, nice, cool. Despite the heat, the dry heat around you, the water is fresh and clear.
Yeah, I'll take some also.
They watch you carefully as you are getting drinks of water. They're still observing you, the guards. In the corner, you see orcs that are currently being trained. Despite the heat, they're in leather armor, and they're like doing like push-ups and like battle tactics. And on horseback, you see a gith, a green humanoid on top of a horseback, barking orders in Orcish. Does anybody speak Orc?
Not I.
This language is strange and foreign to you. As he's Riknar Nichnar, and you see these orcs like starting to like they start training once again. Metal and armor clashes against each other as these, what you assume in common, because there's like a board, right, a sign, a mercenary company here of orcs. So I'll ping that. As you're looking around, you see a shop and a stable here. You see this man currently like shoeing horses and like brushing off those hooves and trimming up the horseshoes. He is currently working, and above it says Stable Master Williams Shop. So that's right here. As you continue to search around and look around, you see alchemist's shop over here. You see this guy who's like currently like brewing potions. He's got like a tent set up, right? And he's inside the tent, and he's like mixing like alchemical ingredients. And you see it like explode in his face, and he's like, right? And then right next to him, right next to his shop, you see this blacksmith. Ting, ting, ting. Ting. He's currently working metal. It seems like he's making some sort of shovel at the moment.
When the chemicals blew up in the old man's face, I would have walked over and been like, "Are you right there, sir? Do you need any help?"
He coughs and he's like, let's see his accent. What can I do for you, lad? No, that's the different one. Who be you, son? Who be you?
Well, my name's James, but you seem to be coughing rather heavily there. I was just making sure you were right. What is it that you sell here? As I start looking around.
This elderly man has this beard, and he's currently got a silk on, like a fine silk. He looks at you and he's like, "You're a new face. Are you here to trade?"
I may well be, depending on what you have.
He says, "I have many things." He takes you into the back and he says, "I have several potions. Anything that interests you or catches your eye."
Do you have any potions that will remedy ailments, my good man?
I have many a fine potion. I have healing potions, greater healing potions, superior healing potions, and that sweet, sweet supreme. He holds up this bottle of blue elixir, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, supreme. This is the best premium stuff, son. This is some good shit. Not that honey ale that you can buy anywhere. This doesn't have the side effects." You interested? You interested? And he's wiping his face off.
Yeah.
He's also he's
pull out a cloth from my hands to hand it to him, and I'm like, yes. How much would the healing potions be? I'm not made of fine things, though I do have some money.
Oh yeah, let's just see here. 100 for the healing, 200 for the greater, 300 for the superior, and 400 gold for the supreme.
My good
How
man.
much you got, James?
My good man, how would you say 80 for a regular healing potion? Would that do it well?
He like laughs at you. He's like, "Oh, you're serious?"
As I said, I'm not a man of money. I must make business.
So must I. He looks and he's like, "Show me the gold first."
I pull out the sack of gold I still have from the treasury.
His eyes will open up. Yes, he says, "Oh, don't mind these things." He says, "Friend, if you have several coins to spend, would you be interested in some poison?"
Poisons are intriguing, but my aim is to recover life, not to end it.
Understandable. Yes, of course. Right this
Though
way.
in hushed tones, a poison craft is always nice.
Like winks.
That's where you...
Yes, he says for 80 gold, he will part with it.
Very well. I'll hand over 80 gold.
Mark it off. You get 1 healing potion. It heals 2d4 plus 2.
Okay.
Mark the gold off.
Ramza, come here, lad. I have something I wish to speak with you about.
I go over next to him and kind of kneel down.
Seems to me, lad, this city might be more accustomed to you than it will be to us. I ask that you keep an eye on the others and make sure they don't get in any trouble. But I also need to know where these bullywugs would be in this area.
I'll try to keep an eye out, but if anyone recognizes me, I kind of have a bad reputation.
Currently, nobody is aware of you. Currently.
Adric kind of smirks. Aye, lad, that's the case for most of us here, and I imagine that's the case for everyone else as well. As he motions to the city dwellers around this place.
The only people who are currently watching you guys is the captain of the guard and his 2 soldiers. You guys are new faces and are armed, right? You're clearly armed. He's currently watching you. But everybody else is not paying you any attention. You guys look like another shopper or anything like that. But you are being watched. You are currently being observed. Just to be clear.
So see what you can do, lad. I'd hate to think that this was a waste of our time.
Anything else?
I guess would my background of the Watcher's Eye be useful in trying to find these bollywogs?
Are you approaching the captain of the guards? Commander Archon.
I guess I'm kind of more just walking around and looking because I'm kind of trying to stay away from the guards.
Understandable. Currently, no one is paying you any attention. Compared to the orcs and the Gith, you guys appear to be just short humans, and elves actually are fairly common trades here. You see the vast majority of people here, humans, trading goods, mostly civilians. Yeah. It's about probably every bit of like 50% human here.
Fair enough.
About 20% orc, and then about 10% gnoll, and then a mixture of you guys. You see no dwarves. There are no dwarves here.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Adric is going to just find a seat by the fountain, and he's not going to pay the guards any mind for now. He's going to examine this, the white flame this orb thing. He doesn't know what it is,
Right.
but he's interested in it. So he's just going to sit down and, knowing that he'll still have watch on him, hoping that maybe he'll be able to split their attention up between the other party members.
Currently, there's 3 of them and 4 of you, so yes. You guys will have advantage if you try to do anything sneaky, as they're kind of like, right, as they're kind of splitting and dividing their attention. However, you are still being observed. So be aware of
that. Taking a look around,
Okay.
is there anywhere where I could replenish my healing kit? Get a couple of like healing medicines and herbs.
Are you asking the alchemist, who seems to have several potions and herbs lying around? Are you asking him?
Yeah, I'd say it a lot. I'd be like, do you also prepare healing balms and herbs?
Of course, friend, of course. He like goes into his shop and you hear this ransacking and stuff like that, and he comes out with like several healer kits. He's like, "How many do you need, friend? How many do you need?"
I only need another healer's kit. I've used most of mine at the moment.
Let's see here. It says 3 gold pieces.
You know what? I'll take 2 just to be safe. I don't want to be left out and alone if somebody's dying in front of me.
Understandable. Yes, you seem to be the adventuring sort, buying health potions. Not a lot of people come through and drop gold like you do. You're definitely someone of interest.
Well, I plan on seeing the world. Might as well do it a safe way possible.
He nods in agreement.
I hand over the 6 gold.
He accepts it graciously. He goes into the back, right? And then he's like fiddle farting around, and you hear like him tinking or putting the gold into like a personal safe of his.
Understandable.
Okay. Is anybody else shopping while you are here?
I've got nothing I need to buy.
Anybody else doing anything? As you're looking out for bullywugs, you see no bullywugs here. Bullywugs are frog people, for those people at home are not aware. So the desert would not be suitable for them. I suppose that it's possible, but currently you do not see any.
After making my purchases, I'd take my leave and I'd walk over to Adric. Adric, so what was that I heard about wanting to buy creatures?
We're looking for a farm that has them on them. I thought that would be a reasonable request. It seems I've been mistaken.
Yes, it would seem that these people don't take kindly to slavers.
Aye, these creatures are not from where I'm from, lad. How was I to know?
I don't think I've seen one before either. Do you know what they look like?
To roll my knowledge nature, find out. Yeah. Adric, you're pretty sure that you know what a bullywug is. Fairly confident.
Adric will describe it to James.
Huh.
I don't think we're gonna be getting anywhere here, lad.
So we have more adventuring to do then, I see. Our paths yet stay intertwined.
He looks down at the new potion healers get, I see you're no good with your money, lad. That's alright, you'll learn in time.
Who knows? One of these saved you. I might be able to save someone else soon.
Aye, lad, but that is no way to waste such amounts of gold. Can't you see these people here are only trying to swindle you out of as much as they can?
They're trying to swindle me? But why?
Ancient laughs. And that's why, lad. That's why. As he puts his hand on James's shoulder as best he can.
Who looks thoroughly confused. So what's our plan? Who are the two that you're traveling with now? How'd you meet?
They're gifts from the elves. I'm hoping the elf will be able to find some information, but it seems like he might just be another fish out of water here.
Hey, Hunk Papa, you might want to check your mic. Make sure that your mic's on the right setting. So I think that's your webcam.
Yeah, it sounds like your webcam mic from the first session.
Yeah. Regardless, you see a massive structure before you. It appears to be like an inn and a civic center. A gathering place. Here at the top.
Well, Adric, I may be young and, well, a little unknown, but I say information is best found from those who are too drunk to keep it to themselves.
What do you guys do?
I'm going to approach the other two after having a bit of a wander around. So I couldn't see anything, couldn't hear anyone talking anything about these bullywugs that we were looking for. But if I remember correctly, in very hushed tones, I'm saying this. Commander Arkan, he should know where like bullywugs are. If I remember right, he's a human slaver. He seeks slaves by war, capture, and trade.
So the slave master Moore, who is currently dead.
Oh, that was a slave master, was that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I mixed things up. My bad.
Currently, Commander Archon is the one observing you.
Right. Okay. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So just to be clear,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Slave Master Moore was slain by the blind wizard.
I got you.
Okay,
I
Adrian.
missed that bit.
Okay.
So I'll restructure that. I'll approach these two. So what are we doing? There's nothing here as far as I can see.
Well, there's a tavern. Taverns have drunkards who spill information as easily as they drink. Mayhaps we should wander in there and have a bit of a listen.
You're welcome to do that, lads. Just be cautious who you reveal this information to. I'll stay here and keep the guards company. They seem to like watching old men.
Very well.
To each their own, small person.
I head off towards the inn.
Excellent.
And I shall accompany the human.
You approach the inn. Babayash. I think we lost somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Scarecrow's disappeared.
I will describe the inn as we continue forth. The inn opened up to you, right? And it's made out of sandstone. This is actually paved.
Taylor, mute your mic.
limestone.
Your typing's too loud.
As you look around, you see several people within the tavern. You see this bar witch come up to you and says, "Can I get you anything to drink, lads?" In the corner, you see several finely dressed, well-dressed, plume hat, very fancy garbs. These appear to be two nobles here in the corner.
Right.
You see someone, a female, a blonde female, human, who is currently like doing dishes, and she's like waves to you and says, "Welcome, welcome." The barmaid is currently cleaning dishes, and here in the corner, in the dark corner, you see a large dire wolf and 3 drow who are currently observing you. If there's shady business to be done, it would definitely be in the dark corner. You also hear like debate and argument upstairs, even from the bar room, which is kind of noisy, but they're kind of like listening in. You hear like the council, which is currently in session. The council is currently in session. It is during the day.
Huh.
What do you guys do?
Well, first, I take her up on the offer. Yes, 2 ales, please. One for me and one for this fine man here.
She nods to you and she says, "What do you have to drink?"
Something that isn't too strong or too bitter, please.
A mug of ale?
That'll do me. What about
she
you,
nods to
friend? You're unmuted.
I'll take the same. I'll thank you very much for buying this round, James. Much appreciated.
No worries, friend. 2 mugs of ale, then, please. We'll be sat just over here.
I'll start at a tab. She nods to you and she starts running off. As you're like observing this area, you hear in the upstairs, like people are like listening. You hear upstairs and they're like, "But the Inquisition is moving in." It's like, "No, of course not." You hear like 4 distinct voices: a female, a gruff voice, a one that sounds high, like, "No, man, it's totally cool." And then you hear,
"It's all right, dude, for real."
And then you hear another voice, which is kind of very authoritative. You can't currently see who's currently debating, but they're clearly discussing, like, the Inquisition is currently moving in on the city of Ravenshaven. This is a movement. A fort is currently being constructed, and they do not like it, and they are trying to decide what to do about it. You guys are easily hearing this debate. Each side is picking its own, and some are like, "We should go to war," and it's like, "No, it'll be an excellent buffer against the Black Marshes." And you hear another person like, "I don't care, man. It's in the Golden Plains. It doesn't have anything to do with us." And then you hear another person who's kind of like gruff. He's like, "The Inquisition will use this as a staging point against us." So there's this current debate, vivid debate about the current situation of a fort.
Huh. Well, this sounds interesting.
Should we see if we could gather more information on this? In fact, I'll tell you what we should do. Once we've finished these ales, we can listen out, and I'll go and investigate the shady corner. That looks like a good place to start with these bollywogs. And you're welcome to accompany me, or you can investigate the apparent discussion that's occurring.
Mm-hmm. It is a vivid discussion, yes. It's almost like a town hall meeting.
Well, I'm not one to jump into politics of a place that isn't mine. No, I think I'll just sit here and make sure that you're not harried while you're over there. And, like, he just turns and sits down and sips his ale and tries to be sly when he looks over at the corner with all the people in it. I want to see, like what they're kind of, like, what they're rocking with, what they're, like, flashing off, considering they're just sat in a bar.
Okay. You see the normal patrons, the civilians. Some of them are eating, some of them are drinking. They pay you like some attention, but they quickly like revert their attention back to what is currently being discussed upstairs and just listening to the individual debates. Tobias, the scene right cuts from James over to Tobias. What is Tobias doing, and how is he approaching the shady side of town.
So obviously he's finished his mug of ale, and he's going to slowly wander over to the drow, was it, and the shady corner, and he's going to just approach them quite casually. Excuse me, gents.
They put their hands on their weapons, and they turn to look at you. And
no mean to alarm you. I was looking for some information, if it's all possible. A friend of mine is looking for some bullywugs. I was wondering if you knew anything about them or where they might be. We're hoping that they might be on a farm in the Golden Plains, but that's the only lead we've got so far.
So they like turn and look at this lady who's like currently petting the direwolf, and she's like, what information are you looking about this farm?
Just the whereabouts of it, so we, my party and I can investigate further.
She says, I might be able to help you. You have to give me more specifics, however.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll need to go and get those off a friend of mine. So if it's okay with you, I shall return momentarily with more questions and information.
She like looks at her guards and she's like,
"Thank you." As I venture back over to tell James what our conversation was about, and then I'm going to go head out to the dwarf because I'm not exactly 100% certain what it is that we're looking for the bullywugs for. So I'm going to go and head towards Adric after telling James what we discussed.
Right. When you tell me that, I go, "Hey, you should have offered to buy them a drink. It's only polite." And then I'll continue watching them to see if they're like following him out or anything.
So before you guys do that, we have another cutscene, right? Before you approach Adric. Adric, you are watching this massive orb floating above this water. You are currently being observed by 3 people now. What do you do?
Adric, knowing that he's being a pretty good distraction, he just stays here. He takes another drink of the water, and he's just going to sit here, keeping their attention.
Yes, you have their undivided attention currently. As you're staring at that, they're staring at you. You can roll me an insight as like the staring off goes. Yeah, you're pretty sure that they are here to protect that. So you are currently making them nervous.
He will turn with his back to it and just observe the orcs training.
They slightly ease, but they are still observing you. The orcs seem to have this fairly focused drive. They're speaking in Orcish. You can roll me an insight as you're observing this. You can see like the chain of command. Yes. It's pretty obvious the one who's barking orders is this man right here, or this Gith. He is barking orders. He is followed up closely by this other orc who is currently... So, I'll show you the big picture of the Gith. He's on horseback. He's like instructing his men. As they're doing that, you see this secondary commander, this massive orc. He's following the directions of the Gith. The chain of command is the Gith, this larger orc, and then the subdivided into like I guess, regions. I hear a crinkling. What is that?
My apologies.
Oh, okay. The orcs are training, right? And they're doing mock battles. They seem to be very focused and have a very structured command. You also notice that there are orcs running back and forth, helping out the stable master, who seems to have some sort of working relationship. Like the orcs are like helping to pretty much like shovel shit, do maintain the horses, brush horses, doing stuff like that. That is what you get with the 13.
Adric is still just going to sit at the fountain and keep observing, waiting for his companions to emerge from the inn. Knowing that he's keeping the guards' attention, he's just going to keep doing so. He's not going to move from his spot, since he knows that they are there to try and protect whatever this object is in the middle of the city.
Mm-hmm. Tobias comes running out of the bar/civic center. What do you do, Tobias? You are currently mute.
Sorry, need to get in the habit of muting and unmuting properly. So I'm going to approach Adric and slow myself down a little bit. Once I sit down with him, I'm going to kind of have a hushed conversation about the shady people in the corner. So I'll sit down next to him, and I'll say, "So Adric, in the tavern with these shady people, which might give us some sort of lead, but they need more information. I don't know what info I can give them. Why exactly do we need these bollywogs, and why do we need to locate this farm? What is it that we're specifically after? What info can I share with these guys?"
Adric leans over. You can share with them, lad, that there are Fae on this farm. If they know of it, they will know of the Fae.
And what about the Fae? What's so significant?
Lad, that's something that we should keep between us. They react to the Fae. They know of this place.
The bollywogs?
Adric face palms and wipes his beard as he looks over at what looks to be a young human to him. Lad, we're looking for a farm.
Yes.
This farm has bullywugs and
Right.
Fae.
Okay.
You know this. You were there with me. It was only a few days ago, lad.
I'm sorry. The heat from the desert must have affected me more than I'd like to let on. Okay, I'll remember this, and I'll see what info I can grab.
If they attack you, lad, feel free to get the attention of the guards. I feel they may help break up any fights.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. Thank you. Also, I noticed this orb here. I noticed it's the white flame. Just in case you were interested, which is a power source which houses a lot of power for life. Use that information as you will, and I imagine drink from the well resourcefully. Anyway, I'll be going back to speak to the shady people. I'll return again shortly as I run off again.
Adric nods and strokes his beard as he contemplates the implications of this being the white flame that he's heard of.
Excellent. You return to the bar. You see the drow currently petting. Food has currently been brought and prepared. It's currently a banquet that they are currently having. She turns and looks at you and says, "Hello, stranger. We meet again." I think you're mute. You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it.
Yes, I shall. Yes, so I've returned with more information. There are Fae and bullywugs on this farm that we're trying to locate. Maybe that might aid in pinpointing which farm it is that we're after.
Round about this point, 4 drinks, regular ales arrive at the table that I have paid for.
Okay. The tab continues to grow.
As I look towards James and give him a nod.
I just like wave.
So like, yeah, the 3 drow kind of like turn and look at you, and they're like, interesting.
Yeah, I just like when I see them notice me, I just wave. I wave at them too. Just like a big smile and an open hand.
So do you have any information on this farm?
Do you have more information that I can base this farm off of?
Unfortunately not. The reasons for us finding this farm are private, I'm afraid. Do you have any lead at all?
She kind of like smiles at this, and she's like, secrets are my thing. She like leans back, and she's like, it depends on how much gold you have to offer.
How much gold is this information worth to you?
You're asking us to find a needle in a haystack. So I'm asking for time and gold. You're asking us to look for a farm in the Golden Plains.
I know that is definitely a difficult task.
Almost impossible. You're almost asking for impossible.
As I come from the Golden Plains myself, however, the specific farm with bullywugs and fae, I'm sure there's only
her eyes widen open. Her eyes widen at the mention of this. She's like, continue.
The specific farm we're trying to locate shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, I know there are a lot of farms out there, but not very many with those specific beings together.
She says, yes. How much gold do you have?
Only 10 at the moment.
She like chuckles at this. And she like looks at you, says, come back when you have more.
How much more do I need?
How much do you think it's worth?
$25 gold?
She smiles at this and she says, that'll work.
Fine then. I'm sorry to have deceived you, as I hand 25 gold.
She smiles at this and she's like, she takes it and she like looks at the coinage and she says, elven maid. She smiles at this, bites it, and puts it into her corner. She says, oh, you are looking for... she gestures to the tankers on the wall. And she says, you know who makes those honey ales? So she's pointing to these huge tankers, right? These barrels. And she says, do you know who makes those?
I don't. Please educate me.
She smiles and she says, Farmer Edward.
Is that supposed to mean something?
That is the man you are looking for. He's been known to have fae and other assortments. As you're drinking your ale, you notice like these ale cups and everything else have been processed and made by the same insignia of Farmer Ed.
Brilliant. That's as I look at the mug that I'm holding and realize what make the connection in my own head. Thank you for this information. Do you know how best to contact Father Edward?
Oh, well, he's in the Golden Plains, so you'd have to go forth. Or you could send him a letter, of course.
A letter? How may I do that?
Oh, I can get it to you for a price. She smiles once again.
And what's the price of this?
Let's see here. She feels kind of bad, but you know what? She says 25 gold. You can insight this, by the way. Totally insight this.
I will do when my page starts responding.
Okay.
My page isn't loading for some reason.
Try reconnecting.
It won't even let me do that.
Try refreshing the page. Technical error, technical problems, everyone.
All right, I think I'm back.
Yep.
So I'm rolling
Welcome
insight.
Yes.
Insight.
Yeah, you're pretty sure that she's trying to milk you for all their money.
I think 25 gold's a bit steep for a letter.
She nods in agreement. She says, "What do you think it's worth?"
I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. You've rinsed me for a lot of my gold, and I've only got 2 left. So, take it or leave it.
Very well, 2 gold. She smiles at this, taking the 2 gold. She says, she literally hands you paper and pen. What are you writing? And
this is a good question. What am I writing? Is it possible to ask him to meet us here?
she frowns at this and she says, "It is unlikely. He, according to my sources, he is currently sick."
I've been trying my best to move slightly closer and hear in on this conversation. Would I have heard that?
Which part?
The "he is sick" part. One of the few things I actively care about.
Yeah, sure. You could eavesdrop. I mean, are you guys trying to hide this conversation or not?
Well, I mean,
That's
it's a shady group, but I'm not trying to talk so loud that everyone can hear the discussion.
And it's
upstairs.
in common, right? And it's in common. So yeah. You can easily hear this conversation. It's not in Thieves' Cant. She's not attempting to hide postal delivery service. Yeah. She's not.
Is all the arguing still raging on upstairs?
Oh yes, the rage continues to rage. It's like, no, we need to gather our forces and attack. They're like, no, the gnolls will take care of it. You hear a continuation of debate. As like, no, this is this and this is that, and we have more problems, more pressing issues. And they're like, no, we need to take care of this now. There is a lot of arguing and debating in regards to what they should do. Once again, the name of Fort Malgrave is in hot debate.
Fair enough.
He's sick. That's useful information. We actually have a paladin in our group who may be able to provide some aid. As I nod towards James.
I wave again.
Once again, she like lifts up her drink and she nods back in reply. Yeah.
So, could you ask for permission to visit him, perhaps, so that we may help him in some way, if at all possible?
Is that what you're writing down in the letter?
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a reasonable request.
And will you be here to deliver a response?
So she smiles and she's like, I'm always here.
Excellent. That's useful to know. How long do you think this message will take?
She like looks at you and she says it depends on the weather. Is it not springtime? She says probably every bit of 2 to 3 weeks. So you are currently aware that it is raining in the Golden Plains. It is currently springtime. It is the 30th of you would consider it March, but it's called Feo. So it is currently the 30th. It is late spring or mid-spring. As you're as she's like, travel will be slow in order to get there and then come back. Is 3 weeks acceptable to you?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll see what we can do in the meantime. Thank you very much for your aid.
She nods in reply. She has this like wax seal, right? She says, "Are you done?"
Yes, that's all I need to say.
Okay. She takes her ring, right, and she dips wax on it, this blood red wax, and then she stamps her ring on it, and she hands it off to one of her guards, and the guard like nods, and then he heads out. He draws his hood up, right, as he steps outside. You see him wander off. Adric, you see this drow covered in a hood come running out. He comes over to the stable master and begins talking.
At this point, James is probably going to go pay off his tab.
Excellent.
And I will regroup with James and we'll discuss what just happened.
Excellent. As you come over, the barmaid is like, "Hello, I'm the barmaid. I'm Aura. Is there anything else that you need? Dessert? Food? What do you need? A night to stay?"
Well, Tobias, what was the, what do you reckon? Do you reckon we'll be here for a while?
Yeah, so that letter that we sent is probably going to take 2 to 3 weeks, so we kind of need a place to stay.
Weeks? I think it's best to consort with our other fellows.
I agree.
For now, I'll just pay off the tab. How much is it that I owe you?
She says, 5 copper pieces.
Ah, very well. I hand over 5 copper pieces.
She nods gratefully. She says, "Is there anything else I can get for you?"
For the time being, no, though thank you for your hospitality.
She says, "Anytime. We are here all day and all night. Except until midnight. And then we shut down. The kitchens are shut off."
Very well. And then, Tobias, I suggest we make our way back over to Adric and give him the good news, I suppose.
I agree. Farewell, maiden.
Farewell. Please come again. She waves at you and collects the copper pieces and returns to work, serving other customers. What do you guys do as you approach Adric? You are now currently being observed.
Greetings, friend.
Hello again, Adric.
I think you're mute.
Are you there?
Hug Papa, I think you're
Yes.
mute. Ah, there we go.
This computer I am using is very, very slow.
Fair enough.
What did you find, lads? Was this a waste of our time after all?
No, but it was expensive.
I mean, those are equivalent, I suppose.
What
So,
did you
Tobias, explain what we did.
Yeah, so after I got some information from yourself, I continued speaking with those shady people that I mentioned. And after a total of 27 gold, we have some information on a Father Edward, who's known to have a farm with multiple beings on the farm. And the woman that I was speaking to was willing to send a letter to him so that we may visit him to see if as I said it, our paladin could help heal him because he's sick at the moment. That's all the information I got.
Well, it is unfortunate you lads keep getting taken advantage of in a place like this. How long would it take for such a letter to be read?
She reported that it may take between 2 to 3 weeks, which brings us on to our next point of we kind of need a place to stay.
And possibly work to do.
2 to 3 weeks, lad.
That's what she said.
How do you think your tracking skills are, Tobias? You think you can track that fellow through the Golden Plains?
It might be a challenge, but I'm up for it.
Currently, the drow is getting on horseback.
I presume I noticed this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's like talking to the stable master and... Yep.
I could track him, but not if he's on horseback and I'm not, I'm afraid. He'd just be too fast for me.
You can get horses. There are more than one horses.
I don't have the gold.
Adric kind of smirks as he walks over he's going to walk over to the stable master.
Currently, he's dealing with the drow. The drow, of course, pays him gold. And they shake hands, and the drow begins getting on horseback and begins to leave. The stable master says, "What can I do for you? What can I do for you?"
Could Adric see the amount of gold that was paid for the horse?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a perception.
Okay, give me a second. As I mentioned before, this is an incredibly slow computer.
That's fine.
I'm going to have to restart Roll20, it looks like.
What's the problem, Roll20? What did you do on Roll20?
Yeah, it's not being the
What's
best.
your deal, man?
Yeah, Roll20's been an issue tonight. That might be a reason why Rams are left.
Yeah.
It's their servers.
Maybe. I did see something about maintenance, but I didn't think it was today.
I didn't see anything in regards to maintenance. So.
Yeah, no, mine's a totally different thing. Like I said, my video card's messing up, so every now and then the screen just goes, "Oh, we can't show you the Roll20 thing that's been static for the past 20 minutes."
Well, the good news is that I can still see you guys. So since everybody's refreshing, I'm going to refresh too, just to make sure everybody's in sync.
I've just reconnected.
Yeah.
I haven't. I don't want to tempt fate.
This computer may or may not crash. We will see.
Minor technical issues, everybody.
Oh, woo! How far we have come, and yet so short-sighted it is.
How quickly everything changes.
and the power was lost, we could do nothing but sit and complain about the fact that we no longer had our Wi-Fis.
Man, you know how horrible that would be? Like, everything's done on the internet, man. Everything's done on the internet. Cut off the internet, like, everybody be like, what is this? What is
I have
this
to actually
real
talk
world?
to people in real life now.
I have to go back to the days of batteries.
Oh, my
Oh, no.
gosh. Be terrible. Be terrible. Would you like me to roll for you, Hunk Papa?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
All right, I'll roll for you. You rolled a 12 plus bonuses. You easily see the exchange. He is currently renting an animal. The cost is currently, you see him getting a horse for seven gold and 50 silver. That is his current cost. He says, I'll be back within a couple of weeks. The drow and the human.
Yeah.
So that's what they're currently doing, and that's the current exchange. As they're
Right. Adric will wait for the drow to leave before he steps up. He's gonna look to Tobias. Are you sure you can track him, lad? We don't want to get lost again.
Well, I was born and raised on the grasslands of the Golden Plain, so it's kind of my home territory. I know what I'm doing.
Alright, lad. We'll give it a shot. We'll take three horses.
Three?
You're buying 3 horses?
He's gonna rent them. We're
Okay.
gonna rephrase that. He's gonna rent
Okay.
the 3 horses.
I was like, okay, that'll be. Let me bring out my calculator. That'd be 300 and some on gold. She's like, I don't know you, stranger. Who are you?
The name's Adric. I have business here with the mail delivery service. I'll be back about the time that drow is back.
He like stares at you. And he's like, "Are you following that drow?"
Perhaps, lad. I don't wish to wait for 4 weeks to
So
receive a message and then to find the reply and then to make it to my destination.
he asked for 25 gold.
Adric laughs. Oh, lad. I'll be taking the usual rate of 750. You're not going to be able to get one over on me, just like you have on the children, as he points to the naive humans following next to him.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion as you're attempting to get him to lower the price.
See how bad it is. It's not too bad with the negative modifier.
As you're like saying, you know, like the children and stuff like that, he like smiles at this and he says, 25 gold pieces. I don't know you, friend, and these horses aren't cheap or easy to come by. I don't know if you're going to get them killed, and I don't know you. And do you have anybody to back you up? Anybody to claim your character?
He stops for a second as he does some internal calculations.
Just to be clear, right? So the drow and the stable master knew each other, and then you're
Right.
coming in. Yep, okay. Then you're saying,
Yeah,
hey, I want the standard rate too, and he's like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's trying. He gets it. He's trying to weigh whether or not renting horses for 25 gold pieces. He thinks it's pretty clearly a ripoff.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, it is. Just to be clear, yeah. He doesn't know you, but he's charging you an arm and a leg because he doesn't know you. And you could be horse thieves for all he knows. So he's going to get his gold now in case he has to. I mean, you might wander off with these horses and never come back. And then he'd lose money, right? So that's why he's charging you. Yeah, you could be a horse thief for all he knows.
Adric is also trying to calculate the value of being a horse thief in Ravenshaven.
It's very lucrative. However, it's very, very deadly. You could become a horse thief. I mean, stealing a man's livelihood. What could go wrong there?
Adric sighs as he just walks away. Well, I guess we might as well pay a visit to this fort if we're going to be in the area for a while. What do you say, lads?
Fair enough. That was where I was roughly headed initially, so a good turn of happenstance, I suppose. We'll definitely be paid there.
Well, you might be, lad. I know the Inquisition isn't going to take kindly if they find out who I am.
Well, then let's hope that they don't.
So paranoid. So paranoid. I love it.
Wait, you're with the Inquisition?
Me?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kind of?
I mean...
Are you saying that here, in front of the stable master, by the way?
No.
Okay, all right. Are you saying it in front of the guards, by the way? You're currently being observed.
I was going to say, as soon as the talk of the Inquisition would have happened, hushed tones would have come
I
across
just
the
wanted,
party.
where's this conversation happening?
It is happening immediately in front of the general big person. We are telling him.
Adric, after you ask him, after Tobias asks him, are you part of the Inquisition? Adric will hush them, and he'll motion for them to leave the city walls.
Excellent. Go ahead and place yourselves outside. In the distance, right, there's flat rolling sand dunes and stuff like that. You see the drow, who's currently not like racing his horse. He's simply just trotting along. He knows it's going to be a long journey. He is currently just keeping pace, right? He's not like, yeah. He's simply just walking his horse. A wise decision in the desert. You guys can clearly see this figure walking ahead of you.
What do you want to do? Do we follow him?
Well, I mean, he doesn't seem to be traveling too quickly. I wouldn't want to exhaust anything out here in the desert.
And for all he knows, which is all he should know, you're simply a doctor looking for a patient.
Yeah. Well, from what I overheard of their conversation, it seems that he also told them that we were seeking the farm for other means, though eventually my my usefulness came into question.
I guess we'll see then whether this father values secrecy of his life.
Well, regardless of either, I wish to make a man well, regardless of his current circumstances.
Sorry, what? I had to do something real quick. What happened?
Just talking about what we plan on doing.
Okay.
So, shall we follow him?
I think it would be I think it might be a waste of our time, lads, to try and follow a man on horseback through the desert to an unknown location.
So you guys are aware that drow are elves, and they only need 4 hours of rest. So it is almost impossible to keep up with this person.
If I remember,
constant pace. However, you guys can easily exhaust yourselves to chase after him.
I remember one thing I spotted as we headed towards Ravenshaven is we noticed there was what was it, like a burning caravan or something like that? Something burning houses off into the distance? Can I roll a history to try and remember what it was?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it was more than, 2-3 days, 4 days ago. When you saw in the distance, you saw a farm being burnt. It was a farm. You saw a man who was teary-eyed and burying bodies.
Yeah, so I'll
4 days ago.
reminisce about the times how many days ago to the group as we were wandering towards Ravenshaven.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys not remember, Adric, do you not remember too? I presume Ramsey would also be here, but because he's disconnected, I'd be speaking to him also. On our way in, about 4 days out, we spotted a farm on fire and a teary man who was burying some bodies. Maybe it's worth investigating that for a few days to keep us occupied.
Well, it does sound like an experience to me. And it's also a place where injuries may have occurred.
I think if we were to approach the place now, it would have been picked clean by scavengers. But seeing as how we've no place to be for the next, as he sighs and again rubs his beard, several weeks, I suppose there's no harm in letting you lads fulfill your curiosity. Be warned, we need to keep a cautious eye out for any that would do us harm on our travels.
A sound reasoning there.
I couldn't agree more.
Excellent. Where do you guys go?
Very well.
Yourselves.
Tobias, lead us towards the burning of the farms.
Okay, so you guys know that it was 1 day out from the river in which you saw the burning farm.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, the rider is not going that direction.
That's okay. We knew that we can't really follow him anyway. As I announced to the group, if I remember correctly, the burning farm wasn't, or was a day off the river, so we need to kind of head back the way we came.
Fair enough. Lead onwards. I know not where you came from.
Go ahead.
You
place
tracked
yourself.
us here.
I knew that there was reason to come here. I remembered overhearing Adric speak of it. But we ended up going to the Elven City first.
James, roll me a luck roll. D100. Oh, yes. James, you were a couple days behind, and as you passed by that burnt place, you didn't see anybody there. You're very lucky. Like, you were looking around, the place was all burnt, so you saw the smokes and everything else. You thought nothing of it and just quickly moved on. You saw fresh graves, but you didn't see anyone there.
I was gonna... right, if that's the case, then instead my response would be, I travelled past that place on the way over here. It was already barren. I laid those who had recently fallen to peace, and continued on my way.
Very well. Well, I know not what we should do going forward.
Well, we could always try and find the fort.
Adric nods.
Though I remember not where it is. I think to the south, but I don't know what distance.
Can I roll a survival and try and figure out which way south is from where we are?
Sure, yeah. I mean, you already know this. You don't have to roll survival. It's down.
Okay. Right.
South is down.
Well, yeah. But
So
I mean,
north is up, south is down, east is to your right.
I mean, in orientation from where we are in terms of when we come out of Ravenshaven.
So you are currently right here. So I'll ping. Right, you guys are currently here in Ravenshaven.
So just head down.
So each square counts as a day of travel and explored. You're currently 4 days away from the burnt place.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just bring us down one.
You are currently following the rider. You head south.
Oh, okay.
A survival roll as you continue. Oh, no. Oh, it had to have happened. Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Wait, hold on, he says.
I think it doubles your proficiency, but it's a natural.
I was going to say, is this your favorite terrain? I'm pretty sure that gives advantage in 5e.
Oh, does it?
If I remember correctly. 5e is the only one that I've actually DM'd, so...
You want to check. Oh, it had to happen.
How do I...
So it should be in your characters. Okay. Your proficiency is double.
Yeah, my proficiency bonus is double. I don't get advantage.
Ooh. Oh no.
It had to happen. Yay! It had to happen. Excellent.
So that's not a 4. That's a... well, that's a natural 1, so it doesn't even matter.
It's a natural 1.
I didn't even notice it was a natural 1.
It's a natural 1.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Excellent. Okay.
So I've got no idea where we're going.
Do that.
We spend a day walking north. Wait.
Oh, I don't know if that's appropriate. I guess that makes sense. Seems a bit unfair, but no, we're not going to do that. That's crazy sauce. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work just fine. Okay, all right. This will be acceptable.
Pardon?
This will be acceptable.
I was going to say. This is like when you're walking through the tall grass in Pokemon. Boop, boop, boop.
So, I got the 1. Do I get lost or? Well, I can't really get lost unless by magical means. But what happens now I get
so
a 1?
this is the encounter table, and you currently rolled an encounter.
Woo!
Okay.
Let's die. I mean, let's not die.
In the distance, you see. First off, the desert becomes unbearable, right? It is hot. Everybody needs to roll me first and foremost, a Constitution saving throw against exhaustion as the heat begins to sap your strength. Okay. Adric, with the heavy armor and stuff like that, you're starting to become exhausted. Take 1 level of exhaustion as this heat is starting to get to you. Yeah.
Who was that? Just Adric, or was that my?
Just Adric.
Oh, okay.
Just Adric. In the distance, you see a man on a cart who is currently being held up. He's trying to survive the heat, so he's kind of hunkered down. He's got his horse covered, right?
Right.
Trying to protect it. He is currently sitting underneath the wagon, right?
Right.
You guys can clearly see this. You guys are huffing and puffing. Go ahead and place yourselves anywhere but in the middle. Everyone roll me perception as you enter into the scene.
There. Once again, my human eyes fail me.
Yeah, this is a natural one, so there you have it.
And that's 13 for Adric with the disadvantage.
Oh, you have disadvantage. Okay. All right.
Ah, my eyes, the dust.
So, Bias, in the distance, you can see this man currently being held up. He is currently resting underneath his wagon. The man is clearly tired, right? He's trying to survive the heat of the day. You guys aren't faring much better. Adric is currently huffing. Like, he's sweating, right? But as soon as he sweats, it evaporates, and he's not cooling off at all. This man is currently being held up. What do you do, if anything, as you approach this wagon?
So I'm gonna stop and point out the wagon to the boys and see. Just ask what should we do? Do we kill him? Do we move on? Do we?
A wagon? What? Ah, my eyes! Ah!
If
Yeah.
you squint a little bit, it helps.
You got sweat in your eyes, James. It stings. It stings. It's rough.
You guys
man.
must not be used to this.
Can you lead me over to it?
I mean, I can bring you a little closer, but I don't want it to be some sort of ambush.
I mean, what does it look like? Is it just one person?
I mean, it looks like it from here, but
We're in
I
a
don't know,
desert.
there might
I'm
be
sure
Clearly
it's just him.
one person. Yeah,
it could be something lurking in the sand.
that is true. You've heard of giant scorpions and stuff like that hiding in the sand and springing upon people. This appears to be just a person.
Do we approach him?
It's up to you.
I say we
Sounds like
should.
it's your call.
Well, we've got a preference, so we'll approach him as we slowly make our way sweatier and sweatier towards the person in the caravan.
So as you guys aren't hiding your presence at all, I assume.
Yeah.
You guys see this person kind of he's got his head covered, right? And he looks out, and he turns, and this owl comes flying out, and does a 360 over you guys.
Interesting.
I just call out, "Hello there, friend. Are you in the base?"
Lads, you need to stop rushing into such bad situations. Don't you remember the wanted poster?
I do not.
Adric shakes his head in frustration.
Yeah, the heat and everything is just getting to you, right? Ooh.
Adric will,
I don't ever remember a wanted poster.
Yeah, James.
look in your
James
journal. You
remembers
have a
looking
wanted
at. I was
poster.
going to say James looking at a wanted poster, but he's not going to pull it out right now. So I'm going to roll a history check to see if I remember what it looked like.
So I will show players. Yeah. This is what you read.
Does everyone have that wanted poster? Because I don't remember.
Everybody should.
Right.
All
Okay.
players. Yep, all players have it. So if you go up to the handouts, right? So it's in journal, and then you click on the handouts.
Yeah.
You should see a map. You should see a wanted poster. You should see magical stuff. Should be several magical items in there.
Not that I can see.
You can't see any of this?
I can see a coloured map of Lemuria, help wanted ad, Golden Plains, updated map of players, and a wanted poster of an evil
I
wizard.
can see two of the. I can see two of the items: the pick and the red shard.
Yeah, so you see what you're supposed to see, Tobias.
Okay.
So the wanted poster of an
Yes.
evil wizard is what Adric is referring to.
Taking a closer look at it, it also says that this man goes by Edward.
Actually,
Yes.
it's Edward Mann. Edward Mann.
As opposed to Eddie Boy.
Well, we're looking for Father Edward. There's no mention of father in there. He doesn't look like he has kids.
It's almost like he tried to adopt a name, and it came out Edward Man. I love you, Uno. By the way, I love you, Uno.
Maybe it was that stoner guy from the tavern. You called him, "Hey, Edward, man."
Fair enough. Well, what is it we're to do then?
As we look back at Adric with confusion and inquisition.
He still just shakes his head with this brief moment of how did I end up traveling the sands with these children?
Oh my gosh, yes. By the way, Adric, you are getting hot. That nice, cool shade under the wagon is calling to you.
Be ready, lads. If this guy's a necromancer, there will be bodies close by.
Oh,
As Adric sighs as he continues.
you think there will be undead nearby? I could always find out.
Lad, the little he knows about us, the better.
Fair enough.
Let us leave our surprises to ourselves.
I reset the cloth that's on my shield. Make sure it's nice and covered.
You approach the wagon, and this silk-bundled figure, who currently has a beard, right? He currently has a beard, and he's like, hello, friends. Who are you? Why do you approach?
We simply wish for respite from this terrible weather. I've already been blinded several times today. Ah.
He says, come, join me underneath the wagon. Like gestures.
Very kind, much appreciated. And I'll just go trying not to be intimidating, I'll just go plop myself down next to him.
It is several degrees underneath the wagon. Several degrees cooler as heat sizzles the wood underneath. It's like, what are you guys doing out here?
Well, we were just making our way across the Golden Plains, just trying to fill in some time for ourselves. And, well, here we are. It seems we walked in circles for a little while. Some of us are rather tired. And, well, great fortune brought us under your cabin.
Excellent. He takes out this rain stick, and he holds it up and he starts shaking it back and forth. Some water starts to pour out of this rain stick, offering it to you. Adric, do you accept this water?
He will cautiously take it, trusting in his dwarven constitution that if it is some sort of poison, then he'll be able to shake it off.
Excellent. You don't have to roll a con or anything like that. This is normal water. He casts a spell. Anybody who knows Arcana, go ahead and roll.
I'm not proficient in it.
Not me.
Well, he's not casting the spell. The device activates, and this happens.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and roll me Knowledge Arcana as you guys are observing this.
This one.
That's pretty good. That's great. Yes. As you guys are observing this, Adric, you're kind of like, you're hot, right? But Tobias and James notice this to be create water. So he literally creates several gallons of water and offers it to you.
Wow, that was quite the feat.
Oh, most gracious indeed. I appreciate a kindred soul as I take a sip of the water myself.
He nods in reply, and he's he leans back underneath the wagon, and he quietly, well, you can't see, but he's just laying down currently.
Fair enough.
I'll do it. Go on.
What about yourself there, friend? What brings you out here into the plains?
I am currently traveling, seeking information. I am currently on the run.
On the run?
Mm-hmm.
Well, safe travels then. I hope that you'll find your way safely to somewhere you can be not on the run.
He nods in reply. Says thank you, friend.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, why are you on the run? Who are you running from?
Oh. Don't worry about that. Just enjoy the nice cool shade.
I shall. Thank you muchly.
Fair enough.
Oh, nice. Okay. The owl is watching you with its red eyes. There's a monocle that is currently on its eye, and it's constantly staring at you. However, everything seems to be just hot. He says, do you guys have any food?
I've got a few rations.
Yes, I have some provisions, but not a terrible amount.
Like nods and replies. It's like, good, at least that you came prepared. My first journey into the endless desert was not very good, and I nearly died. I can see that your sun-kissed skin is new. Surprised you haven't gotten sunburn.
Well,
mind you, he is blindfolded, yet he seems to be knowing exactly where you are during all of this.
During the seeing that, I glance over at the owl, and the owl looks like a creature, doesn't it? It looks like an animal.
Looks like an owl. Yep.
Right.
Would you like me to describe it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Give me a second.
I don't want to look at it and have it phasing in and out like a mirage. I mean, we have been walking in the desert. I have been blinded by the sand.
Yeah, fair enough.
So this owl seems to be. Let's see here. Appears to be just a normal owl, except it has red eyes.
Oh.
And it's wearing a monocle, which is very strange. Its feathers are a nice plumage. It is white and black.
Fair enough. If that's the case, I'll just look to the owl and go, is that your pet? It doesn't seem like the sort of thing that would be out here in the desert.
Very true. Very true. Kind of my pet. Kind of my blind seeing eye animal.
Ah. Fascinating.
So how does that work?
Yes.
He turns and looks at you. He's blindfolded, right? He turns and looks at you. He says, well, magic, of course.
Fascinating. Never seen anything like this before.
Oh, many people don't. Many people stay home.
Yes, but you learn nothing if you stay in one place.
I wish more people thought like you.
Fair enough.
I want to try and give Adric a subtle nudge, just so that we're kind of on the same page that this guy is who we think he is.
Adric nods.
Well, I wonder how long the heat will last for.
Usually 12 hours.
Tell me, blind man, do you have a name?
He turns and looks at you and says, I am Edrin.
Huh.
What's your name?
I'm Tobias.
It's nice to meet you, Tobias.
And you, Edrin.
He does not correct you.
Well, I know not what our plan is next. I do not wish to bother you for a long period of time.
Since you're not bothering me, it's good to have company every so often.
Adric will finally speak up.
So what do you know of this fort they are building in the Golden Plains?
Oh, that thing? Yes. The Inquisition's trying to expand its power. Trying to expand its influence. From there, it can strike anywhere. It can strike the Elven Kingdoms, it can strike the city of Ravenshaven, it can march against the Black Marshes, it can do whatever it wants.
I wish it would strike opportunities of peace rather than war.
He, chuckles at this.
And what do you know of the infighting in the capital?
Infighting? What infighting?
Adric just nods.
He nods back at you, despite not being able to see you.
Wait. We just came from Ravenshaven, didn't we? If I
I'm
remember
heading
correctly.
there.
Oh,
How does it fare?
it seemed well enough. Though my friend here said that the prices I paid were steep. That doesn't bother me, but to most it probably would.
Oh? What was expensive about it?
I wouldn't know. I thought it was a fair price, but I was told otherwise.
In the desert, people can ask for anything. Usually you want to come prepared. Yeah. Who did you talk to, and how did they charge you?
Well, I mainly spoke to the herbalist and the brewmaster in order to acquire a potion of healing when times might get a bit rougher than they need to, and
Wise decision.
a couple of health kits here just to make sure that people are patched up. Are you doing all right yourself? And I I open up the bag.
The only thing that is hurt on me is my soul. I don't think you can cure that.
Ah, well. May you seek your redemption elsewhere then, friend. I just close it and put the satchel back in my bag.
This is redemption. It's the price of knowledge, my friend. It's the price of knowledge.
Well then, may you gain...
What do you...
Go ahead.
What do you know of the current movements of the dragons these days, lad?
Oh, are you referring to the Blood Queen?
Adric nods.
Oh, yes. The Blood Queen is still angry. She didn't like it that I killed the slave master. She offered me his position, but I refused it.
I knew it. I thought so. I overheard they were talking about a blind wizard, and you are clearly blind and cast magic. What fortunate happenstance we have.
He shifts uncomfortably. He's like, my name's Edrin. Edrin. I don't know what you're talking about, friend.
What of Father Edward? You might know of him.
I do. How do you know him?
He has something I wish to acquire.
And what is that?
Adric chuckles.
What do you know of this man called Father Edward?
I know him by a different name. His name is Farmer Edward. He was my first patron. I worked with him. I cleared out a hovel of mites. There's a bullywug that works with him, and a kind fae. She saved my life several times.
Huh.
I hear the old man's come down with an illness. Do you know of it?
I do.
Is it one that I could cure?
He shakes his head now.
If
I
you
was going to say, with my current abilities, I can cure those who are diseased, heavily or otherwise.
His
If it's of this
disease
world, I can
his
cure it.
disease is terminal.
Ah,
do you know where his dwelling is? I would speak with
yeah.
him.
You're currently on the right path. Just follow my wagon tracks. I just came from there not too long ago. He thinks about how far away it is. How far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days away.
but 5 days.
Adric nudges Tobias to make sure he's paying attention to this.
You will want to head south west from our current location.
Oh, I thank you. Even if I cannot cure him fully, I do wish to see others to at least a better standard of living, regardless of where they started.
Perhaps you can ease his pain.
That is my thought, if it is terminal.
I have
wish you
heard.
luck.
I have heard tell there might be something beneath his farm. Do you know anything of this?
He shifts uncomfortably as you say that. See if he knows what you are.
I'm going to roll insight as he does this.
I was going to say, an insight off. Let's see who can see into who better.
Interesting. He says, I've met your tomb.
Is it as the others are, but a ruin and shell of its former glory?
There are more?
Adric smirks and strokes his beard.
He blinks at you, unconvinced. He's like, the gem that I found was lost.
Where was it lost?
I was captured by the Inquisition, and unfortunately, the Inquisitor Lords have it.
If they have it,
Adric-
we may well never see it again.
Adric will like to roll insight on this because he trusts Spud more than he trusts a blind man in the desert.
Sure.
And Spud said that it was at the farm.
He is not lying.
How long ago was this, if I may ask?
2 or 3 years?
Now Adric is very conflicted. He believes that Spud had told him right, that the gem was underneath this farm.
No. You might want to go back and watch that. What he said was where the last gold mantles he had seen. That's where he told you the location was.
Okay.
He didn't tell you where the gem was. Or who had happened to raid it. He just told you where the last gold mantles were.
Okay.
Gave you a location. It's almost like this living world. People do stuff that's not waiting for you. Yep, it's like almost other people have effects on the world.
He sighs and he just starts pondering what to do next. He's become very frustrated as time has gone on. You guys can tell his demeanor has changed quite a bit from when you first met him. Even these last couple of days of traveling, he just seemed to have gotten more and more frustrated. He feels like he's just going around in circles. And
almost like you're lost.
Almost like we should go follow the plot line laid out before
what
us.
you guys doing? You guys are just doing your thing. I'm going to let you do your thing. I'm going to let you do your thing.
As he's just gonna still contemplate. He thinks now going back to the fort, after all, may be the best avenue for him to find what he's looking for. It just took us 3 game sessions to realize that.
Hey, you guys. Hey, this is an open world. You guys do whatever you want to. I ain't going to stop you at all.
And by the looks of the map that we've drawn, it looks like we may well have just gone round the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the center, and we've just walked completely around the fort.
I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much. It's like, wait a second, what's going on?
Well, you live and learn, don't you?
There's a story behind everything. What?
How long did it take your previous group for you to say you love them? I'll take that as a compliment.
I mean, that's the whole point of the open world. If you want to know players, like, heads cut off, yeah, I expect this. This is what happened last time. So many bad things happened. So many bad things happened.
So that's Adric. He's just gonna leave it there while he thinks about this.
I was gonna say, if this is the case, if it's to be as it is at the moment, it's probably best that we go like small talk back and forth, nothing too subsequent, and then we start. Well, first. So
just to be clear, he's 5 foot away from you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hot.
Yeah. So then, guys, are we going to go to this farmer Edward? See him, see if we can do anything for him, or are we going to go down to the fort and earn a wage, I suppose?
It seems like, unfortunately, my business is with the Inquisition. It's a place I do not wish to go, but it seems like fates keep directing us toward this fort. Perhaps we take a look and see whether there's anything worthwhile for us there.
Well, there's money there, I know that much. We all seem like decent fighters, though I haven't seen you fight before, Tobias.
I'm sure you'll find out soon enough.
As you say that.
Don.
Oh, thank you for that transition. Beautiful. Beautiful. Over the horizon, giant scorpions come running. Roll me that sweet, sweet initiative.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Is it shit? It is!
Oh, also, I forgot to mention, you gotta wait for him to actually bring up the turn order on the left for your rolls to register.
I'll wait for it next time, but this time, we know what we have. We have a 1. A 1 right there.
And what's this?
Is there like an initiative thing that I'm not clicking on?
Yeah, it's on the page. Just click on initiative the same way you would do for your skills.
Select your token first.
But before that, click your token. And James, you might want to do that too.
Oh, wait, double clicked. That's a bad thing. Whoop. And then we change that to a 1 because my roll sucked.
It wasn't a natural one. It was a natural 2.
You know,
It's fine.
just
it's fine.
above.
Yeah.
I mean, you
he
didn't
meant
have a
to do
0.
that. He meant to do that.
I had
All
a
right.
0 in our last fight, didn't I? I'm pretty sure. Or in the first fight.
These large scorpions, about the size of a man, come scrolling over there, taking advantage of the heat that affects most mammals. These scorpions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, start to approach the horse, drawn by the scent of, I'm going to eat you. Tobias, you notice these giant scorpions crawling over the dunes.
I'm going to let out an audible kind of cry of terror, as I'm a bit unsure as to what to actually do. But acting instinctively, I'm going to roll out from underneath the cart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over here.
Excellent.
And I'm just going to load a crossbow bolt and fire it at the scorpion that's closest.
Do it.
So this is why you were talking about crossbow stuff to me earlier.
Do it. Unfortunately, that misses.
No.
Scorpion. The other one comes running up, clearly chasing after this large meal that has been provided, that the desert has provided. James, you are up. Oh, it's going double move.
Do you mean Adric?
No, James is up.
Adric
I
had a
think Adric's
10,
next.
and James had a 1. Adric had a 10.
Okay. Give me a second. I will change this. There we go. And now descending. Okay.
Well,
And then Adric, you are up.
Yeah.
There's 2 Jameses? 2 Adrics? Oh, here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Okay.
Okay, so now James is gone from my screen. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm not on there anymore.
I see James. James is a 1 now.
Okay, cool.
No,
As long as you see it,
Okay.
that's all good.
Yes, I see everybody.
we'll just go with that.
Yeah.
Adric, just frustrated about the whole situation. He's going to get really angry and run up to the scorpion and smack it.
Okay. Smack it.
Give it a thump.
Oh, that hits. That's a solid blow.
For 8 damage.
It screeches in pain as you slam your warhammer into it. James, you are up.
Hearing Adric shout in such ferocity and being slightly confused since he didn't see him do this earlier, he's going to take a step up next to him, and also having the staff in one hand and his shield in the other still clothed, he's going to bring the staff down on top of it.
Excellent. Attack! That's a hit.
Yay!
Ow. Takes another 8 points of damage and screeches. Seeing that his horse is in danger, he races over and unties his horse. The owl comes by and helps and does the help action. Anybody who's attacking this scorpion has advantage on it. He takes the horse and with his leftover movement continues to rotate around and trying to move the horse and wagon away from the approaching scorpion. It is the scorpion's time. The scorpion runs up and attempts to attack you. It strikes with its stinger. And that's a hit. James, roll me a fortitude save.
How is it that you're
Or
doing
con
AC?
save.
Because I currently have 18.
It has a bonus.
Ah,
I rolled an
okay.
18.
Cool. Just making
Trust
sure.
me, it
Con
has a
save.
You make it. You feel yourself like starting to like freeze up. You take 1d10.
Take 1 damage.
You take 5 points of damage as the
Damn it.
stinger stabs into you. You resist the poison, however. Yeah. All right. Tobias, this creature and just stings the shit out of poor James. What do you do?
Sweet. So I'm going to Hunter's Market as my bonus action. The scorpion that's attacking James.
Excellent.
I'm also going to use my sharpshooter feat to try and hit this scorpion so I can deal maximum damage.
This is also a beast, so remember that.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have advantage to track it. Yeah, that's all it is at the minute. I've just got advantage to track it.
Yeah, I think that comes later.
Yeah, so I'm going to shot. No, it doesn't hit.
Unfortunately, misses. The other scorpion, seeing this nice, plump, juicy dwarf before it, it attempts to sting you as well.
I'm going to use my reaction to impose disadvantage with my protection feature.
Excellent. It misses. Adric, you are up as the stinger comes and... thank goodness James was there to help protect you. What do you do, James? Or Adric.
He's going to frustratedly swing again, but he's swinging with abandon, so this is going to have advantage.
Okay, advantage, disadvantage. Nice. Ooh, that hits. Solid damage.
12.
It streaks. It is still up, despite it. Like blood, like this green elixir starts oozing out of it. James, you are up.
I have advantage on the attack because of the owl, right? The help action?
Owl is assisting, yes.
Cool. Gonna give it another...
Hits.
Oh yeah, 5
Damage.
damage.
Better than none.
The scorpion, seeing that your back is to it, it starts clawing at you, like trying to snap at you.
Rude.
And that misses. Tobias, this creature's like trying to snap at poor James, trying to get him within his claws, and an attempt to pin him and then sting the shit out of him.
The same again, but not a sharp shot, as I load another bolt into my crossbow and release the trigger. Just a regular attack with the Hunter's Mark.
That unfortunately misses.
This isn't going well.
The giant scorpion turns and faces you. Adric, as it once again snaps. This time it's trying to grapple you and then make you a nice, tasty snack. Nope.
I was going to say, I've just had my turn, so my reaction's back up. Same thing.
Yep.
I'm going to try and stop it.
Let's see here. What's this bonus to hit with its pinchers? Okay, yeah. So it's a 20, but it misses. And then with the other pincher, and that one misses as well. Excellent. Adric, you are up as this creature's trying to hit. It might have hit you had it not been for the stalwart defense of James.
Adric, knowing this, is going to continue to attack with abandon, seeing how well his ally is protecting him. 15.
That is a hit.
Yeah.
For 7 more damage to this one.
Shrieks in pain. It is near close to death, yet it continues to fight with abandonment. It is either fight and die for food, or just simply die. James, you are up.
It must be stopped. Squish it. That's a 19.
19 hits. For 6 points. It is still continuing to struggle.
It isn't dying!
It's not
It
dying,
isn't
no.
dying!
This creature, seeing its opportunity, while you're distracted with the other one, attempts to claw. And hits with a 20 and a 16.
Yeah, 20 hits. 16 doesn't.
Give me a strength check as this pincher finally grabs hold of you.
Is this a save or a straight check?
It is a grapple.
So it's athletics.
You can use
then.
athletics or yeah.
Whoop. 23.
Yeah, you easily avoid being snared within its cruel pinchers. However, you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as it reaches out and finally grabs hold of flesh. Tobias! Tobias!
This might sound like a silly question, but how big is a giant scorpion?
They are large. Almost the size of a man.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Same again. I'm going to notch a bolt and then try and hit the scorpion that's attacking James.
It hits.
Yes. Which is
Finally.
1 D10.
If you just click on the name of the weapon in the chat, it'll do it.
Should have bonuses.
It should.
Regardless.
Yeah,
how
so
do you
that's
kill this creature.
That's a 7 plus 3, so it's 10 damage. So as I unnotch a bolt and fire it, you've got some bullet time as it spins and spirals through the air, impacting the ribs of this scorpion as it kind of impales it, shoves it back a little bit as it just freezes suddenly and kind of keels over and dies.
It screeches, curls up and on itself as it slowly dies. The giant scorpion, seeing that its companion fell, its mate angrily assaults you. Once again, claws, trying to pin you to the ground and make you easier prey. And misses.
Not today,
Adric.
little scorpion.
Adric, you are up.
He comes over to the side and continues to attack with abandon.
Excellent. That unfortunately misses. James.
Turns around. What the?
Whack it. That is a critical hit. Tell me how spectacular it is. Oh, yeah, that's some sweet, sweet damage on this thing.
So, as it, lunges out to try and, pinch him, James pivots around, dodging out of the way, and strikes down, partially snapping one of its mandibles.
You break off one of its claws, right? It's in a linger, screeches in agony as it, falls and crumbles to the ground. Tobias.
Again, I'm notching another arrow. And I'm about to fire again.
Excellent. That unfortunately misses. The scorpion, seeing that it's injured and its companion is dead, takes the disengage action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is currently trying to flee. Adric, you're up. Scurrying across the sand with its broken claw, right?
Adric, let's see if he can move all the way up next to it.
Excellent.
He just recklessly runs in his fury up ahead of it, and again swings with abandon.
Excellent. Hits. 10 points. Oh! It shrieks as your warhammer slams into it. James, you're up.
James is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Run up behind it And as he's running, he's just going to check to make sure that there's no more scorpions going after the caravan with the blind man and the horse.
That scorpion that's currently dead. The owl's kind of like flapping around it, like trying to like bite at it. But other than that, that's all that it's currently doing.
Fair enough. With that being said, being behind it, I take my time, get a good swing in, see if I can hit it.
Excellent. You have advantage. It hits. It's a solid blow.
Indeed.
Great. It shrieks. Tobias, get in on this action, man.
I'm going to move a few feet, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
Almost
that I
like we've
don't
had
hit...
combat a few sessions, huh?
So that I don't hit James with the bolt as I load it and fire it towards the scorpion.
That unfortunately misses.
Not doing well.
Nope. Seeing that its retreat is cut off and its enemies are all around it, it returns to its stinger. It's a 50-50 on who it's going to target, so I will roll. 1, it's Adrian. 2, it's...
Yeah.
Oh, no. It turns and attempts to sting the shit out of you. Yeah. And misses horribly. As
My
the stinger
colon
goes
is
wide. Adric, you are up.
He sees his moment to strike as he does so.
That hits. 18 hits. It shrieks. Yet it continues to fight. James,
Why
you
are
are
these
up.
things so hard?
Giant ass scorpions. They're really tough.
22.
That's a hit. Oh.
Bop.
It's callous. It's very tough, very hardened by the weather and the sand that is constantly here. All right. Tobias, you are up.
Same again, another bolt.
That's a
Flying
solid
towards
hit.
the scorpion.
That's a solid hit.
Hey.
That's 1d10 plus. So that's 12 in total.
Tell me how you kill this creature.
Okay, a kind of similar to the last one, except instead of piercing the ribs, it just kind of flies all the way through its body from head to tail, I suppose.
It poops out your arrow.
Yes, it
goes,
does. Yeah, that's exactly that.
Also, that is a crit, so your damage actually doubles. There is no corpse left. You literally implode it.
Yes.
Excellent. You guys get out of combat as the last scorpion dies, twitching on the ground.
Adric, still in his anger, is going to run over to the dead one and smack it on its head with his hammer for good measure as he finally calms down.
There's a current... yes, you are covered in greenish elixir as these scorpions begin to dry in the heat. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna go loot my bolt, see how many I can salvage.
So James is going to start rubbing across his wounds as they begin to seal, using healing hands, lay on hands even.
Excellent.
Going to be using 12 of those because I took 12 damage.
Seeing that the battle is over, Edrin returns and he says, "Thank you for your help. That was most appreciated. See that you guys are still skilled combatants."
Well, it would at least seem 2 of us are. Tobias, I would suggest doing more than just finishing the creatures off.
Hey,
He
it's
nods.
difficult to see with the sun in your eye.
Says that is true.
At any rate, lad, do you think you could salvage any of these beasts? They might be handy to survive out in the deserts like this.
Yeah, maybe we can use them like crab.
I mean, I'll definitely try. I don't know what do I need to roll to salvage my arrows and some
Okay,
meat?
so salvaging your arrows, you get 50% back, regardless of what happens. So 50%
Rounded
is
up
back.
or rounded down?
Rounded up.
So that's what, 4? 3?
And do I need to roll a survival to try and deshell these scorpions and take the meat?
So what is your objective? What are you trying to get here? Are
Just
you
some.
trying to eat them?
Yeah, I'm trying to get some meat off them so that we can eat them at a later date. Possibly reserve them or save them for tonight's meal or something like that.
Excellent. Yeah, go ahead.
Is that a survival?
It is survival, yes. Yes. You get, roll me a die 6. Excellent. And I believe that doubles, correct?
Oh.
For your foraging, yeah.
You get
Yeah.
10 rations out of that.
Oh, sweet. I'll split those between everyone, so everyone's got 3, and I've got 4.
Excellent.
Fair enough.
The blind man, Edrin, says,
He didn't. I'll chuck him one.
he nods in appreciation.
Only because he didn't really do much in the fight, as far as I noticed. But it's
That's
always
true.
helpful.
That is
He
true.
helped us with the shade, so I'll throw him one.
He kept his
Good.
beast of
Good.
burden safe. I mean, he also sent his creature out to help us.
Yeah, surprisingly, that owl wasn't like a normal owl, and somehow it helped you in some strange way. It's very odd, not very natural at all.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, he did say something about magic.
Yeah, yeah.
Adric, you were unusually not cautious. This goes against everything that I know of you so far. You were right.
I needed to let my frustrations out on something, lad. It's a good thing these scorpions came when they did.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. I can understand letting off pent rage.
Sometimes you just get angry, you know? Sometimes you just get angry.
You turn green and you start beating things up.
Excellent. Once again, he returns the wagon, right? The cart, and he once again goes back under it. Anything else that you guys like to do? It is still hot, by the way. It is very exhausting. This heat is intense, right?
Does the scorpion blood that Adric is now soaked in help with any of that?
That is a good question. Currently, no. Unless you're going to bathe in it, which would kind of ruin the rations. So, I mean, I guess you could, which is a little weird.
It's like Adric instead
It
of
won't
taking
help you.
3
You're just going to be
rations,
bathed in scorpion elixir. Lictor.
they would
Yeah.
fear me for generations.
I've slain them all. So as you're like coming back and like cleaning everything, he says, "Those are giant scorpions. Those are common out here. You have to be careful. They hide under rocks and dunes. They also attack during the day, usually when prey is exhausted. So when you're out here, make sure that you are very careful. Their sting is very venomous, so just be very careful about them." They'll definitely go after livestock first. They know that they are easy prey, and one sting can easily kill a horse.
Well, I can't do it today. I'm currently a bit tapped for my resources, but I can remove certain ailments from people by touch. So Well, let's hope that tomorrow, if we do face any, that I am well rested.
So he nods in agreement. Even though he still can't see you. Still can't see you. Yeah.
Yeah, James is just, like, fascinated by the fact that he seems to be acting like a regular person. James, he won't say it aloud, in the back of his head, he thinks that might just be like a silk wrap that you can see through.
Sure. He nods in appreciation. He says, whenever you're in Ravenshaven, thank you for saving my horse. If you mention my name, Edrin, they will give you a discount.
Huh. Much appreciated.
If only we were still going to a farm.
I mean, the world is wide open to you. The world is literally wide open to you. I don't make decisions where players go.
Fair enough.
The day will pass uneventfully after that. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Adric is going to spend some time in meditation before he leaves, mechanically switching out some spells that he's got prepared.
Excellent. A wise decision.
Actually, that might not be a terrible idea.
Adric, I have a question. Do you have your gemstone out?
Yeah, he will pull it out every so often, every couple of days. He tries to think back and try to examine the stone a little bit more to try and figure out what it is. He's still determined to find out.
Roll me knowledge nature and knowledge arcana.
This is like a 1 in 100 chance that he will figure this out.
Adric, you're like frustrated, right? Your anger and everything is seeping into you. However, this Edrin comes up to you and gently touches you on your shoulder. That 1 becomes a 18. Fate
Sweet Lord.
changed for you. What does that become?
He's... Should he have prayed to the ancestors before he attempted this? This is going to make the difference.
That is a good question, because if you change your role, I might be changing other things as well.
Right. He's still not good enough. There's nothing that he can do unless he rolls a 19. It's still not going to be good enough.
Okay. You got an 18 for that 1. So I will...
Yeah, but I've only got a +1 bonus. He's
That's
not.
fine. You actually answered some questions. Not all of them, but you answered some of them. The stone still hides information. Yet you still have some knowledge about it. I will paste it into the items list. I will show players. Yep, there we go.
Ooh. Shiny.
And you have it out and about.
I suppose if Adrian would have noticed, I mean, James already knows about it. We're not in a public place, so he might be a little bit more open with it.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, really? What's so interesting? I wonder.
Adric, or Edric, Adrian. sorry. Adric, Adrian. He asks to look at the stone.
Adric is gonna roll insight on this. He's not gonna. He knows this guy's a known thief.
That's 15.
I need to check something real quick.
Pulling up the old character sheets.
Yeah, you think that he looks upon the stone greedily.
Adric will refuse to allow him to take the gem, as he will keep it with him. He'll shake his head no.
He says, I understand. I lost my opportunity a long time ago.
I don't understand. It just looks like a rock to me.
I could help you identify it if you wish.
Perhaps.
However, I would have to examine it.
But it does not leave my hands.
So in order to identify an object, he has to touch it.
Does he have to take it though?
I was going to say,
he just touch
assumedly
it
he
while-
could, like, hand on the top while...
So as he's explaining, he's like, I have to examine it, like I have to look at it, like I have to literally look at it. What do you tell him? He's like, you have to give it to me for me to identify it.
Adric is not going to trust him and is not going to allow him to take the gem.
Understandable.
I mean, my guess is that it's a ruby.
So Edrin nods, completely understanding. And he says, well, I wish you good luck and good fortune. That evening continues to pass by. Anything else going to happen?
Would we travel during the time where it would get dark and slightly colder?
So to be clear here, you guys are up all day, right? Because the heat won't let you sleep. It's so hot because of that natural one, right? It's so hot you can't sleep. Pretty much all you do is lay in the shade. And other than like light activities, I mean, I guess you could push yourself for exhaustion.
Alright, fair enough.
If you want to. You can push yourself.
Adric thinks that it would be a good idea to try to rest since he's very exhausted, and suggests that we use the automated drill when we're away from the sky, because he's noticed that the sky is very greedy. When we're away from the sky, we use the automated drill to dig out a small campsite into the dunes to try and shelter us from the winds and the sight of any prowling creature.
Fair enough.
Okay.
That being the case, I suppose I would then, having parted ways with our blind friend, we
So he's not far away, right? You guys are 1 day away from city of Ravenshaven.
yeah.
He is saying that he is going to push on that night. He'll take a level exhaustion just to make it to town.
Right. Okay. So when he starts,
So that night he is going to move on.
right.
He feels like he can make it, and he still has a die roll. So
Okay. Then, if that's the case, when he makes his leave, I would take out the pickaxe, hold it for a little bit, to reattune myself, and then let go of it as it begins to just dig out a lot of this loose ground that's in front of us. I'm assuming that this is considered dirt.
yes.
So it digs out 30 feet, which will be from about here to here. There you go. So these
Adric advised we may want it to be deep as well, not just big.
So down.
Right, okay.
Down.
Yeah, so it'd be two blocks 5 feet deep, and then 10 feet deep.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll me that sweet survival as night approaches. And the heat still lingers, by the way. The heat is still on.
I would say that a ranger is better at survival than most of us.
As you guys hunker down.
Hold on before you make that roll.
I'm not the one digging.
No, it's not.
It's to make it through the night, not to dig the hole.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
See if you guys have another natural one.
Given the bad luck we had the day before, Adric is going to sigh as he mutters a prayer to the ancestors and touches Tobias on the shoulder. You have guidance for this roll.
So does that mean I get like advantage on it or something?
You get die for.
I was going to say, I wonder whether guidance and blessing stack. That would be funny.
How do I do
Well,
that?
so
Don't think they do.
blessing has to do with saving throws, not ability scores. Only blessing has to do with ability scores.
Right.
Theoretically, you could have bless and what is it? Resistance or no?
Excellent.
Oh yeah,
The
it's
night
just attack
passes-
rolls and saving throws. Yeah, fair enough.
Uneventfully. It is currently so the night passes uneventfully. Nothing but the heat slowly passes. Right, it is the next day, and it is somewhat bearable once again.
I think, based on the time, it might be a good point to tap out for this one. A good stop. Having spoken to a dangerous wizard.
Yes, I agree.
Is that right?
Is this the end?
Yeah.
We'll start up on the next line on top of this. All right, that sounds good. We will see you folks in the next episode. Bye.
Later.
Bye.